If you want to know what your mix really sounds like, you need a good pair of monitors. Hi-fi speakers are designed to make your music sound as good as possible, but a good, honest studio monitor will expose the flaws in a bad mix. There are many aspects to the design of a good studio monitor. Most monitors used in smaller studios are active two-way systems, where each driver has its own amplifier and all the necessary electronics are built in. Both the frequency and phase characteristics of the two drivers must be carefully matched. The crossover circuitry must be exactly tailored to the drivers, and the amplifiers need to deliver adequate power, yet still protect the drivers from excessively loud signals. But there's more to it than simply buying good monitor speakers. The placement of your speakers in your home studio is critical and often neglected. The way your monitors sound at low frequencies is heavily influenced by the size and shape of your room and by the position of the monitors. The way they sound in the mid and high frequency range is more to do with what sound-absorbing materials are in the room and on the walls. Most home studios are set up in rectangular rooms, where to get the most accurate bass response, your monitors should be aimed down the long axis of the room. Each parallel set of walls supports its own resonant frequencies or room modes. A cube-shaped room is less than ideal, as these frequencies cause strong peaks and dips in the bass response. The smaller the room, the worse the problem, especially if you sit close to the center, where strong cancellation causes much of the bass to disappear. Our ideal room has dimensions that are not equal or exact multiples of each other, though most home studio users have to make the best of whatever space they have available. When working in small or unfortunately dimensioned rooms, smaller monitors work best, those with a bass driver no larger than 6 inches. This will limit the level of bass being fed into the room and produce a less confusing low end. It's also a good idea to test your mix on headphones, as so many listeners now consume their music that way. If your mixes sound good on both headphones and monitors, you can be confident that they're okay. In larger rooms, an 8-inch bass driver may be appropriate. But as a rule, avoid using subwoofers, as the results can be unpredictable. Your monitor speakers should be set up symmetrically about the center axis of the room, and ideally be at least 30 centimeters away from walls or corners, especially if they have rear ports. Some monitors feature a switch that allows you to adjust the bass response to compensate for placement near a wall or corner. The tweeters should be aimed at an imaginary point just behind your head, where your distance from the speakers is roughly equal to the distance between the speakers. You can tilt the speakers upwards slightly. You can choose to put your monitors on good quality rigid stands or directly on your desk. If you do this, a dense foam rubber acoustic pad is recommended to prevent vibrations from the desktop. Placing a heavy tile on top of the pad can improve its efficiency. Avoid obstructions between the speakers and your listening position, such as the edges of monitor screens. Also, check your cables to ensure that the speakers are in phase. A good way to test your system's response at low frequencies is to use a synthesizer to play a chromatic scale of descending bass notes using a sine or triangle wave. In a perfect room, the level of the notes should fall away gradually as the pitch is reduced. Most home studios will show some peaks and dips in the response, but you can often improve the situation by moving the speakers slightly forwards or backwards. You may also find that moving both speakers to the left or right helps, as this breaks the room symmetry. Commercial bass traps are available, most of which fit into the corners of the room, but these can be of limited use in a small room and rarely provide a complete solution. Mid and high frequency problems are much easier to deal with, where our aim is to prevent strong sound reflections bouncing back to the listening position. Acoustic foam or mineral wool between 50 and 100 millimeters thick is very effective at absorbing sound from 250 Hz upwards. Place a panel at either side of your listening position and another behind each of the speakers, and you'll hear a big improvement in sound quality. We often refer to the places that need acoustic panels as mirror points, because if you hung a mirror there, from your normal mixing position, you'd be able to see a reflection of the monitors. In very small rooms, it may also help to put acoustic panels on the wall behind you. In larger rooms, shelves of books or CDs or even curtains or soft furnishings can help break up reflections. Your mixes will be more consistent if you try to mix all your music at around the same level. Somewhere around 80 to 85 decibels is comfortable, and you can check this by running a sound level meter app on your smartphone. If you have your monitors set very loud all the time, your perception of balance changes and you may even damage your hearing. A good mix will still sound good at low volumes. Many professionals like to step away from the studio and listen to their mix in as many different listening situations as possible. This can show up balance problems that weren't obvious from right in front of the speakers. It also helps to have a selection of commercial reference tracks available for comparison purposes. Playing these from time to time will help you retain a sense of perspective and will also help attune your ears to the way your monitors sound in your studio room.